need faith in turbulent times. We've all heard that tough times never last, but tough people do. The thing that helps tough people to last is prevailing faith. We understand that desperate times call for desperate measures. And so whenever you are facing challenging times, I want to encourage you to look to family. And when I say family now, I don't mean just somebody who is blood related to you. Because I know siblings who can't get along with each other, and mothers and daughters who can't stand each other, and fathers and sons that don't have anything to do with each other. So I'm not just talking about family in the sense of just being blood related. When I say family, I mean people that you have blood covenant relationship with. A blood covenant relationship. Where the Bible teaches that a friend loveth at all times, but a brother is born for adversity. A brother is born for adversity. That's somebody that has blood covenant relationship with you. You see, my wife is my blood covenant partner. We are not related by blood, I don't think. But we are covenant partners. We have a blood covenant. And did you know that you can actually be closer to someone that you have a covenant relationship with than somebody that you have blood relationship with? I mean, there are some of your families, people brag about their family trees, and then they realize their family only produced a bunch of nuts. And so you have to realize that there are times that you have to build on covenant relationships. Covenant. You hear people say that blood is thicker than water, but covenant is stronger than blood. Because there are people that are blood related to you that will not have the loyalty to you that someone who has covenant relationship. And this is the reason that when Jesus was in a certain place and his family members were on the outside and they said, your mother and your brothers are here, and he said, who is my mother? Who are my brothers? And he said, those folks who are in covenant relationship, who do the will of my Father, those are my mother and my brothers. So he was talking about a covenant relationship. And so whenever you get into times of adversity, you need to deal with individuals that have covenant with you, who have cut covenant. And there's a loyalty that is based there, because a friend loves at all times, but a brother is born for adversity. Proverbs chapter 17 and verse 17. And whenever you get into a situation in life and you cannot see your way, that's when you need prevailing faith. Whenever you're working on something and you can't accomplish that thing on your own, that's when you need prevailing faith. If you ever get in a situation where debt is high and funds are low, that's when you need prevailing faith. Whenever you're diagnosed with a sickness and you seem like you can't get well, that's when you need prevailing faith. When it looks like your situation is impossible or it is taking too long for it to work out, that's when you need prevailing faith. When your relationship has suffered tremendous damage and you've tried talking and you still have not been able to work things out, that's when you need prevailing faith. But I want you to rest assured of this one thing, that without faith, it is impossible to please him. It is not possible to please God if you don't have faith. In other words, if you live your life in such a way where you don't have to risk anything. Another word for faith sometimes is the word risk. There needs to be a risk that is involved where you don't necessarily have guarantees. It's a risk. Faith is a risk, even though it's got a great backup, a great guarantee. But there is risk that is involved. But without taking some risk, it's impossible to please God. Impossible to please God if you don't become a risk taker. You know why? Because everybody who has a dream or a vision, they have to have faith in order to make it come to pass. If it requires no faith in order to make it happen, I don't care whatever it is that you do, it won't win the attention of God. God will always give you an assignment that is bigger than what you can do by yourself, that will cost more than what you can afford. If you can pay for your dream out of your pocket, out of your accounts, out of putting all your nickels together, then your vision and dream didn't come from God. God would never give you a dream and then write himself out of the script in your life. For without faith, it is impossible to please him. And whoever comes to him must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 6. We have to be able to understand that without faith, it is impossible to please God, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. If anybody's going to come to God, you must believe that he is. Our even going to God becomes proof positive that we believe that he is. I'm telling you that when you get in a real severe situation, a life and death situation, there are no atheists. Even if an atheist gets scared, they'll say, "Oh, Jesus, oh, God." You'd be surprised. I'm just telling you that without faith, it is impossible, not possible, to even please God. And so God will put you in situations where you have to have faith in order to even make it. If God put you in a situation where you never had to believe, you never had to trust, where it was something that was beyond what you could do for yourself, by yourself, you'd be Xing God out of your life. God has made it where he builds himself into our life. And I want you to know this, that when you have faith, notice what the word of the Lord says. I love it how it says, "For whatever is born of God overcomes the world." Whatever is born of God overcomes the world. Did you know that the faith that is a prevailing faith overcomes the world? Now, the moment that you even see the word prevail or hear the word prevail, it means that there's going to be a struggle, something that's fighting against you. There must be a fight. Anything that prevails. When two people get to fight, somebody is going to prevail in that fight. There's going to be somebody that prevails. And so the moments that you even notice the word prevail, it tells you there's going to be a struggle. Prevailing faith means that there are going to be things that are going to fight against your faith. Circumstances will always war against your faith. What you can currently see will war against your faith. And so don't be alarmed by that. Just rest assured that whatsoever, it didn't say whosoever, because a whosoever has to do with relationship. That has to do with the person. But a whatsoever has to do with the creativity of what has come out of you. Whatsoever is born of God overcomes the world. Whatever is born of God overcomes the world. That means that if God gives you a business idea, if your business idea came from God, I want you to hear me carefully. If your business idea came from God, it'll overcome. I don't care what the economy says. If your business was born of God, you might have to make some shifts, some changes. You might have to depend on him, but God will give you another strategy to be able to reinvent yourself. But if it was born of God, if it was God, it didn't say who, it said what. Whatsoever is born of God. If your idea was born of God, it'll overcome. If your idea was born of God, it'll overcome. If your family was birthed of God, whatever, not merely a whosoever, but a whatever, if God gave it to you, if it was God's idea, if you didn't just think it up yourself, if it came out of the mind of God, out of the imagination of God, if God gave it to you, it's got power built into it to be able to overcome. Whatever is born of God overcomes the world. If God birthed the ministry in you, it'll overcome adversity. It'll overcome criticism. If God gave it to you, whatsoever is born of God overcometh the world. And this is the victory that overcometh the world, even our faith. To gives me the ability to believe in hope against hope. When the circumstances and the statistics are saying it can't be done, it won't happen, the Bible then raises up a faith on the inside of you that says the devil is a liar. That God, let God be true and every man a liar. That God is not a man that he should lie, neither is he the son of man that he ought to repent. So everything that is born of God overcometh the world, and this is the victory that even overcomes the world, even our faith. It's our faith, it's our faith. It is that prevailing faith that means that you're going to have something that's going to come against you. Anytime you get ready to do something, step out and do something, your money is going to get funny. Your health will come under attack. Your relationships come under attack. The devil will try everything that he's got in order to stop you. I mean, there'll be weapons that will be formed against you. They will be formed, but they will not work. They'll be formed, but they will not prosper. They will be formed. They'll be formed against your children, but it just won't work. Formed to try to destroy your marriage, but it won't work. the devil is a lie, because whatever is born of God overcometh the world. If I've got a marriage, I really believe in my heart with every fiber of my being that my marriage was born of God. I believe that. She's the only person I've ever dated. I've never known another woman to this day. I believe with every fiber of my being that my marriage was born of God. And I believe that because it was born of God, it's got the ability in it to overcome anything and everything that could ever come my way. I don't even have to know what all of the ramifications are, what all the possibilities are, but I do know that whatever is born of God overcometh the world. In a couple of weeks, we'll be celebrating 24 years. I'm grateful that whatever is born of God overcometh the world. And this is the victory that overcomes the world, even our faith. There is a prevailing faith on the inside of you to be able to overcome in any circumstance and situation that comes your way. If you ever get something that is born of God, that's why I tell you that if God is the author of it, he's also the finisher of it. Whatever he authors, he's then also obligated to finish. He's the author and the finisher of our faith. I didn't give myself the faith. God is the author. And anything that he authors, he'll finish. He'll finish. He'll finish. Philippians chapter 1 and verse 6, it says, he that hath begun a good work in you shall perform it until the day of Jesus Christ. Whatever he started, he will finish. He'll finish it. God will finish it. Touch your neighbor, say, God will finish it. Now remember very, very simply from Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 1 gives us a simple definition of faith. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. When is faith? Now. If you're saying, I believe that I'm going to be healed, that's not faith, that's hope. Faith says, I have it now. Faith says, with his stripes, I am healed. You understand the difference? Faith says, I've got it right now. Faith says, I got it right now. Faith says, act the way that you want to be, and soon you'll be the way you act. The world says, show me, and then I'll believe you. But God says, believe me, and then I'll show you. So there's a total difference. But now faith is the substance. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And we need faith